What's happening with you? This is the Roy C. Gilmore podcast where real don't get no realer and it don't come with a filter. I am your host, Roy C. Gilmore. Today I have a very special guest on the show. Her name is Don Beaver Bones, and she is the very definition of a survivor. She was all over the news missing at one point in time, and if you type her name in on Google right now, you can read her story. And she will be sharing her story with us today of how a trip in the wilderness with friends turning to her being sexually assaulted and being stranded in the wilderness for 12 days with a broken jaw. Now, this story will be audio only, so if you ain't there, so grab your headphones, get your speakers, do whatever you gotta do. Let's jump into it. Tell me and the people listening your name and where you're from.
Okay. My name is Don Beaver Bones, and I am from Rocky Mountain House, Alberta.
So, I'm looking through my notes here. I read multiple stories online. I typed in your name, you popped up. I clicked on damn near every link that there was. I read the story a few times. I even had my wife read it. She sent me some questions she wanted to ask, and I wrote down my own, but I think I'll save those towards the end. I want to start with the day of the trip. Kinda walk me through the day of the trip.
The day of the trip,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was actually going through a breakup, so I went out with friends and we met up with some other people and we went off-roading. I don't know, the people that like my friend's friend weren't too sure about who they like what kind of type of people they were. Yeah, I don't know if they put anything in my drink because all I had was one drink and then I felt like I fell asleep in the back seat of the truck. And when I woke up, that same person like was trying to do stuff to me, and yeah, and then I tried to escape, and then he hit me on the left side of my face, and he broke my jaw in two places. And then I ran till I couldn't run anymore. And then I got lost in the wilderness, and I thought I was closer to the mountains, but I wasn't. And I got disoriented, and yeah, I was lost for 12 days with the broken jaw, and I didn't see my face probably the second day because I was literally sitting under a tree, and it stormed for a good 4 days. I couldn't do anything, and all I had in my pocket was a dead lighter. There was yeah, a dead lighter. It didn't have no fluid in it. And that's how my journey began. I was lost, trying to find my way back, but every time I tried to go back, I would end up at the river. So I stuck around the river for a while, and I floated down the river once I got to courage. I got out of the river. I was following some geese, like a family, like a family of them. And I'm thankful for that because if I didn't get out, I would have clashed into another river, and that river is called Saskatchewan River, and it has two currents in there, and it was a fast river. So if I got pulled in there, probably would have been the end of me. I
Okay.
slept on I slept on the river, like the on the sides of the river. I slept in wherever I could find like safe, sheltered place.
So I have a few questions. What did the guy hit you with his fist, or did he hit you with an object?
An object because he only struck once, and he broke two bones in my jaw. Like he broke it like it was my jaw was like literally hanging. I couldn't shut my mouth because it was just hanging.
You think that? Do you think that you were set up, or do you think that it was just a
It
spark of the?
felt like it. It felt like after a while, it felt like it was a setup. Yeah.
So how was your relationship with so your uncle was the driver, right? So do you think that it was more of a all of them thing, or just the people that you were with?
I honestly don't know if it was like all of them or just a few of them, but that's how it felt because I had like a drink and I only had one drink and I was out, and then I couldn't. And then yeah, and I woke up to that. It was really weird.
Do you still talk to your uncle today, or any of those? I know not the guy, but do you still talk to your uncle or any of the friends that you were with?
The majority of them have passed, and my uncle's still around, but he's not quite all there.
So would you call that karma, or just
I
how
don't
they
know.
ended up?
Maybe I don't know if he. I don't think he would set me up, but maybe it's just the wrong timing. I don't know. He was
Okay.
just a driver. before we went out for buying two like we met up with another group, and then some of those people came in with us, people I don't usually hang out with.
Okay, so it was like, do you remember how many of it was y'all? Was it like five, six, or more than that?
There was probably like, yeah, about there 5 or 6 people.
It said that in the article that you were eating berries and drinking the river water. Were so as far as survival skills go, were those things that you were taught, or was it just like a I need to eat and drink something and I don't really care what it is type thing?
In my journey I was actually listening to somebody guiding me and talking to me and telling me what to do pretty much. When to find shelter and like to eat and stuff like that. I know I wasn't alone spiritually.
Okay, yeah, I read that as well with the deer and the bear. It was
The
a
deer, the
brown bear,
bear,
right?
yeah. Yeah, there's two of them.
So there were two bears and two deers, or just a bear and a deer?
Two bears and two different times.
Okay, both of them brown bears. So they say, if I'm not mistaken, it's when the bear is brown, you lay down, and when it's black, something about you're supposed to make yourself bigger to scare the bear off or something like that. I read that somewhere on the internet. Is that true? Or you don't know?
Uh, I don't know. I was
Okay.
just kind of crouched down and um the first interaction with the bear is I was actually, you know, when the trees like flipped over and then there's like the
Right.
roots sticking out. I was
Hmm.
sitting in there in that area for like shelter or whatever, and I it was on a hill and I could see his fur coming up the hill, and he came closer and closer and he opened his mouth, and then I closed my eyes because I thought that was the end of it, like that was the end of me. When he opened his mouth, I closed my eyes, and not long after that, I like opened them, and then it was gone. Like it was a really weird. I don't know if he was
Okay.
smelling me. Maybe he pitied me because I was like, because my jaw was broken and everything. I thought he would like eat me or something, but he didn't. He just smelled me pretty much, and then he went. I don't know where he went. All I know is when I opened my eyes, he was gone.
Okay.
It was weird.
So the did you get? So I also read that the your cuts and things were like that they were infected and that you were bare feet. And you said it was
Yeah.
storming and things like that. So I imagine you're covered in rain, probably, your jaw is broken
Yes.
and things like that. It I can only imagine what was going through your head when all of this was going on. Like, did you keep your composure? Were you panicking? Were you thinking that this is the end of me? Did you want to live? What was on your mind?
Well, I had all kinds of mixed emotions, and I really wanted to see the people that I cared about, and I had like the will. There's a couple of times that I tried to like just give up because I was watching my stomach go down, down, down. And I was like, when I came back from the bush, I was less than 100 pounds. I was skin and bones. So there was a few times where I actually almost gave up, but I kept pushing because I wanted to see the people. I wanted to see like the people that meant a lot to me. Like my late mom, she passed about 7 years ago.
I'm sorry
And
to hear
I
that.
wanted to see my baby. Yeah,
Oh, you have a
yeah,
child?
just yeah. I have one kid. Yep,
I did not know that. I mean, were you a mother at the time this happened, or did you have the kid afterwards?
I was a mother at the time it happened.
Oh man, that's that definitely makes sense. So the berries, were they like blackberries, raspberries, or
They were mostly raspberries and blueberries.
okay? So they were safe to eat.
On
Okay.
the news article,
The
they put the wrong berries. They put snake berries, which was
Yeah,
wrong.
that's
I
the
was like,
first thing came to mind. I'm like, did you eat snake berries, or because
no. Yeah, probably the person that recorded, I probably didn't know her stuff. She's like, oh, those are berries. She just like take a picture of them. Those are not the berries. You can get poisoned with those.
yeah,
So
snake
yeah,
berries are not it. I grew up in the
yeah.
country, and there are certain berries you can eat, and certain berries you don't touch.
Mm.
Did the river water make you sick at all?
So I don't know. I was pretty thirsty, so I had to survive. So I just drank it. There was because I know that like the rigs and stuff, they go out there and they get water and stuff. I did see some stuff in the water, but I still drank it.
Okay. Out of the 12 days, which day was the hardest? Or which day do you think was the most difficult for you and why?
Oh, probably the day I stopped counting the days was probably halfway through it. So the sixth day, stopped counting the days, and I was um, like pretty much getting ready to pass. But I just kept going and going. Yeah, the sixth day I think would probably be the hardest. That me thinking that there's no one gonna come for me. I did hear horses out there, but I don't know if there was really horses out there. Like I went to into like a spiritual, I don't know. I don't know what you call it, but I was hearing
Spiritual
things that
awakening.
weren't there. Something like that, yes.
Okay,
I was seeing and hearing things that I don't think that were actually there, but I could see them and the voices that I heard, and then the people I can hear from the distance. Like I could hear all these things, but I can't see them.
it makes sense. So I know that when you're on the verge of death, you get closer to the spirit realm.
Yeah,
The veil that separates the living and the dead becomes weakened because you're about to
yeah,
transition, and I do think that that's why you were able to hear the spirits and see different things like that. And I do think that there were spirits guiding you, trying to help you on your journey. And
yeah.
in a sense, I think that they were helping you because it wasn't your time to go yet. So with all of this, has your view towards men shifted at all? I mean, I can only imagine going through something like that from a guy. Do you currently have a boyfriend? Or are you just disgusted by men, or kind of walk me through that?
After that, I was alone for a good, let's see, probably a decade. I still have
Okay,
trust issues with men, unless I know they're healed, like mentally, like they're healed, and they wouldn't try to hurt me in any way. Because yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense. Are you currently in a relationship now, or you're still just in the healing process?
actually talking to someone right now. Pretty much, that's about it.
Okay. So, what advice would you specifically give to women from this experience?
To love themselves and to find their worth, and don't just go with whoever that will hurt you
Okay.
energetically, probably. Yeah.
How did this experience impact your womanhood? Things are different for women than it is men, and things hit a lot deeper for women. So, how did this impact you as a woman? At you were 25, right?
It actually made me a lot stronger mentally, physically, and emotionally. I learned a lot about myself through after that had happened to me. And yeah, like I try to help other women that are in like abusive relationships or anything like that. I talk to them and tell them my experience a bit. That's what I use it as anyway for people that are stuck in relationships and stuff like that. There's always a
Okay.
way out, and not to get out before it gets to that extent.
Okay. Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, definitely 1,000%. So in one of the articles that I read, you said that it taught you courage and gratitude. I know we just kind of spoke a little bit on that, but when you said it back then, kind of dive a little deeper on what you meant by that.
Okay, that's how when I sat by the river for 2 days crying at the river, there was a bear sitting right across the river, and he was sitting on his like butt. He looked like a human to me, like the way he was sitting, and he we
Okay.
just had like a moment there, I stopped crying and I just looked at him, and we had some kind of moment there, and then after that I jumped and like I went into the water, and then I floated down, and that's when I thank the sun for everything, like to keep me warm. Like things like little things like that, like to keep me warm, to shine on me and stuff like that. Because I was freezing. Just little things like that. Like I was grateful for like I got the courage to get into the water. Because if I was stayed at that water, I probably would have died there if I didn't get into that water and floated down.
Okay. So walk me through the last day when you got found.
I was 4 kilometers away from the main road. So when I came out of the river, I followed some animals out of the river. And then there was like opening, and there was a bunch of lavender flowers, like they're lavender, and then I went walking through them. And then there was a deer that came like pouncing around me, like trying to play with me, but it was like he was like leading me somewhere. So I followed him, and then he led me to these lease roads, and so I went walking down the lease roads. And when I found the lease roads, there was like these these sites where you can like they go check on whatever. I went over there and then I pushed a bunch of buttons so I can alarm them to come check on their stuff so they can come there. And because I don't know what I was doing. I was like kind of scared I might blow myself up or whatever. I did that and I went walking down the road again and I slept in one of those it was a really old rig thing. I don't know if it's a rig, but it was an old like shelter. It looked like a shelter of some sort. And then that's when I found cardboards and I found wiring and I made shoes out of them. And I went walking down more and that's when I seen the truck coming from the distance and that was one of the maintenance guys coming and he found me and he said he's like, I thought you were a deer. And he couldn't really hear me because I had my broken jaw and I was like mumbling to him. I was like, help me. And he's probably like so scared. But yeah, that's when he got me in the truck and then called 911.
And I read in the article that you were returned on your mother's birthday, right?
Yes, that's what she always cried about. She like, that was the best gift that she had. Like her only daughter
Yeah.
coming home on that day.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. That's probably the best gift she's ever received.
Yeah,
How did your daughter react?
her too. She had some spiritual stuff that because she was like 9 or 8 years old, and her grandma would tell me what she was doing. She would make a bed for me right beside her, and she was talking about me like she could see me floating in the river, and
Oh
I was
wow.
floating in the river. Yeah, so we have
Okay.
that connection too. Yeah,
That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. Did you ever sit down and talk to her about it, or just when you saw her, you just wanted to leave it in the past and never bring it up again?
we talked about it. Yeah, she talked about it. Yeah,
How would you react when she told you that she saw you in the river and that essentially, she was
that
kind of,
she's
go ahead.
that she's connected. We're connected, and
Uh,
she has. Yeah,
so do you think
yeah.
that you and her went through a spiritual awakening at the same time, or it was kind of destined for y'all to go through that together?
Maybe she helped me. Maybe she helped me some way somehow because she would kept making bed like a bed beside her when she go sleep. She would. Yeah,
Kind of hearing that, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it was your daughter that was kind of one of the voices that you were hearing, kind of guiding you through that situation.
but she
Because
yeah like to come home. Yeah,
yeah, that's a different type of synchronization. That's pretty deep. That is pretty deep.
yeah.
That's
It
pretty
is.
deep. So when you got home, what was the very first thing you did after, well, probably went to the hospital, but after you spoke to your mother and spoke to your daughter, what was one of the first things that you wanted to do? Get some food, drink some water, or
Yeah, they couldn't give me any food or water because they had to do tests on me first before they even touched me. So I was still suffering in the hospital for a bit. And then the news people came in there, and a lot of people came in there. And I was like, ah. But once they gave me that IV to not feel pain anymore, I was just like laying there like I don't know, didn't talk, couldn't do nothing. I just lay there.
yeah.
And they took
Probably some
pictures. They took,
morphine.
yeah, morphine. Yeah, that's what they gave me when they first. Because I remember coming on the ambulance, and I was looking out that little window, and it was a nice, nice sunny day, and I could see the grass and everything. And once they gave me that morphine, I was like, oh, like I just felt like I needed to sleep and everything.
Yeah, hey,
Yep.
yeah. So how long did you stay in the hospital for? How long? Cause I read that it took multiple surgeries to correct your jaw.
Oh my God, how many times? The first time that they tried to fix my jaw. It fell apart inside my jaw, and the screws were coming out of my skin, like out of my chin. I have a scar there right now. There was that hole on the side. There was a hole leakage there for a whole year. It took a while for it to heal. I almost lost my jaw because how badly infected it was, and I'm still going through. I'm
Okay.
still going through stuff with my jaw. I might have to get a joint replacement because the jaw is it's not good.
Why do you think that this happened? I know a lot of times when we go through things and it's terrible things, the first thing come to mind is why is this happening to me? Did you ever ask yourself that?
Yeah, yeah. I went through it for something. I know I was supposed to help and help a lot of people when after. That's all I know is I know I'm gonna be helping a lot of people.
Do you think that you are doing that now, or do you think that the best that has yet to come as far as you
The best
being
has
on?
yet to come.
I like
I
that.
haven't I wasn't able to talk before because I was stuck in a contract. This girl literally got me on my vulnerable times, and then I was stuck in it for a while, and I finally got out of it because she didn't commit to her didn't commit to it, and then the year was up as of January. So that contract is void.
This year, January, and that was a producer, right? Trying to make a movie out of everything, right?
Yeah, but doesn't have no knowledge of anything, so she pretty much sat on my story and did do nothing about it and wasting my time.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, I think it worked out in your favor, though.
Yeah,
It worked out in your
yeah, it
favor.
did actually, because through that whole time, I actually went through some healing phases within myself. I had to go through stuff like to heal that part of me, so I'm able to talk about it better than be triggered, because yeah, it's a lot easier now than before.
So I know in the hospital they treated the physical symptoms, but what about the emotional and the mental? Did you ever see mental health, or was that something that you just did on your own? Because I know a lot of people don't really believe in mental health and they don't believe in talking to therapists.
I talk to therapists. There is, it's like spiritually, mentally, and physically. When they did work after, like, just probably 2 years ago, when they actually did, because I have a big scar on my jaw. When they tried to pop the scarring out, there was a lot of built up trauma emotionally in that. I could not stop crying. Like, I cried so much, and I couldn't control it. So I know there's like built up trauma that there was there, even though it's like, oh, it's gone up, it's like it was still there.
Okay. So this happened when you were 25. I know you're not supposed to ask a lady her age, but I don't think you are a old geezer. How old are you
I'm
now?
36.
Okay, so this
I'm
was
36 now.
16 years ago, right?
Around there, is it 11?
Say
No,
again.
I don't, 2013, 14, because it happened 2013.
13 is 25 now. I don't want to sound slow as hell on this camera doing math. Let me
12.
pull out my phone. Wait a
That's 12 years,
minute.
isn't it?
12
No,
years? Wait, let me see.
that's
Let me see.
13 years.
2000. We both of us might sound slow. Damn. Hold on. 2026. Damn. Both embarrassing us. 2020,
Yeah, dude.
2025 minus 2013. 12 years.
Yeah, it's
12
12
years.
years.
Oh man, I said damn 16, didn't I? My
No
slow
shit.
ass.
Oh,
Hey man, I
oh well.
graduated a little while back, man. But hey, I'm still an intelligent guy. I just had a moment. I had a moment.
It's all
So
good.
when you got your jaw fixed and you went back home after the hospital, were you still able to get back to, I guess, somewhat of a normal life? Were you able to eat what you wanted to eat, drink what you wanted to
No,
drink, or
not at all. I had my jaw wired shut. I had to literally eat through a straw from the broken teeth.
so would you say that getting home was more difficult than being in the forest, or was it equally as difficult? How would you describe that?
I say more relieved that I'm actually safe at home and eating. I was like, it was okay. And I never knew about opiates, like pain meds, until I actually got my jaw broken. So they had me on all these medications, and I was like always on them.
Yeah, yeah, drowsy. I
Drowsy, sleepy,
trust me, I know about that. In the military, the VA, one thing they're very good at is giving you drugs. No matter if you got a broken bone, a broken heart, here's some drugs. I see that you are in a better position than back then because you're talking to someone, your daughter. You're back home. You know what I'm saying? I think that being back home is better than, definitely where you were before. Do you
yeah.
still go back there? Have you been back there since, or you just evade that part altogether?
I actually go over there, and then the last time I went over there, I gave an offering, and then I hugged the tree, and I released some stuff there. Like it's not, yeah, it's not, doesn't. I tried to go back way back there, but vehicles can't go way back there. And I also slept in a swamp for 2 days.
A swamp. Listen, man, I trained in the swamp, and from that experience, I hated it.
I
Oh
got
my God!
eaten
So I can
up.
only, yeah, mosquitoes, right?
Yeah, but I put all the swamp stuff on me to cover me like a blanket.
Yeah.
Cause like I hear other animals coming around, so I try to blend it and stuff and just get some. rest.
Damn, that's a lot. But I mean, you're definitely your survival instincts kicked in. But I can only imagine sleeping in a swamp, man. I hated training in the swamp. They made us crawl through all that swamp water and the smell and the
Yeah,
mosquitoes and the frogs and the snakes, wet and
it's
hot. Yeah, I
adapted.
hated it. Yeah, yeah, you definitely did that, man. You don't hear things like this often, and especially from a woman. I gotta give it to you. Your strength is to go through all of that and still be standing and still be in your right mind and to adapt the way that you did. I know a lot of grown men would have folded on the first day.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's it speaks of your character. It speaks of your strength. I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you. You a strong woman. And
thank you.
I had my wife read the story as well, and she was blown away at your strength. She was just like, that's a strong woman. And then
Yeah,
me and her kind of spoke on the strength of a woman and how men like to undermine women and think that women are weak and things like this. And she was like, this woman here, she is a testament to the strength of a woman. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it kind of had me looking at my wife different. Like I really do need this woman. So I mean,
yeah,
having a strong woman at your side is essential. And as much as I hate to admit it, my wife taught me that. She did.
yeah,
And
yes,
I think that whoever your husband is, he will be a lucky man to have such a strong woman at his side. And
yeah,
I think that your daughter is a lucky girl to have such a strong mother. It's an honor to be able to speak to you and hear your testimony. And I appreciate you for trusting me to come onto my platform and tell your testimony.
yes.
What led you to want to share this with me? I know you said that you haven't really spoke about it. What made you want to share it with me?
Because I have to bring it out somehow. I can't keep being quiet about it. I need to bring it out. I need to share.
That's how I felt when I went through what I went through with that girl. I know you say you saw my witchcraft testimony. That's how I
That's
felt.
what drew me to you because it was I had some similar things happen to me and I was like, oh, that's why the reason why I want to follow you because yeah, there's some stuff that I've been through too spiritually and I had
Yeah,
to protect
yeah,
myself. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I have my
But
Bible open too all the time. I always pray every day.
yeah, yeah. It truly has been an honor.
Thank you.
If you had to give advice to the people listening right now, male or female, from your experience, what would you say to them?
What would I say to them? Trust your intuition when it comes to relationships, either side, because women can be pretty dangerous too.
Shit,
Um,
hell yeah.
yeah,
So trust your intuition. I like it. I like it. We live and we learn, right? We live and we
yeah.
learn. But I
Thank
appreciate your time. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future. And when the movie kicks off, holla at me. I would love to be a police officer in the movie or anything like that.
All right.
And take care, be good, and enjoy your Saturday. It's my favorite day of the week.
Yeah. Enjoy yours as well.
All right, then. Take care. Thank you again. What a testimony. If I had to learn anything from that dog, is that you don't know what you're capable of until you're put in a situation. So don't ever doubt yourself or count yourself out. If you enjoyed this interview and if you enjoy my content, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Instagram, and follow me on TikTok. Cut on your post notifications and stand by for every Friday at 12 for a new podcast to drop. You never know who I might have up here. So y'all stay tuned. Until then, deuces.